We had so many programs, and we must have done this also. The energies of the Lord. The Lord is supreme, and He's got Ananta energies, infinite energies. We all know that. Krishna has got infinite energies, and they all work for Him. Krishna says, Aham sarvasya prabho mata sarvam pravartate, iti matma bhajante mam buddhabhava samanveta. I am the creator of everything. And those who know this, and He creates, He says, not only the spiritual world, the material world, the spiritual world, everything belongs to me. So He's the creator of everything. So He says that those who know this, those who understand this, they are most intelligent. So they are most intelligent, those who understand that He is the supreme. So how do we understand that He is the supreme? We understand the supreme, He is the supreme when we act accordingly. When we act, yes, when we act, that shows that yes, we've understood. If we keep on just saying that yes, He's supreme, and then we do what our mind says, because mind is what? The man, which we say. So usually we run after the mind. And Guru Maharaj that day, he was giving a lecture, he said, mind is actually जिसने हमें बहुत जन्मों से धोखा दिया है. Is the one who has really deceived us over the millions of births. Not only one or two, millions of births he has deceived us, the mind. That is why we are suffering. This is, we may agree or not, but we all are suffering. There is suffering, we cannot deny that. This pandemic has really, it has opened our eyes, you know. Okay, there is suffering. Those who were very like full of ego and they were puffed up, yes, we are big nations, we can do anything. They all are there on their knees now. And they don't know what to do now. The other day, the PM of UK was saying, we don't know what is going to happen next. Whether even the antidote will come or not come, we are not sure. Nobody is sure in this world right now. So everything is actually, Krishna has proved that everything is under my control. And yet there has been a plane crash recently in Karachi. And then what happens, I was just watching that interview of that young boy who just came out of the crash without any injury, unscathed. He just walked out of the plane crash. It was amazing. Like his interview, when you hear, he says that when there was this plane crash, the plane was hitting the walls, you know. It was just landing on top of the buildings. It was hitting the walls of the buildings. And he said, I just opened my seat belt and I just stood up. And I could hear people crying and screaming, and they were crying. But he said, I saw a light and I walked towards the light. And there I was out of the plane. And there was a place, I was standing on the edge. I had to jump now 10 feet. And without thinking anything, I just jumped. And here I am, no injury, nothing. All safe. So this proves that Krishna, if He wants to keep you, nothing can touch us. And if anything is surely, if He wants us to come back, so nothing can stop us. We will have to go. So the faith, how will that faith build it? The faith shows in our karmas, on our actions, activities. Our actions show that yes, we are surrendered. We keep on saying that, oh, I'm surrendered. I know He's the supreme. I do everything for Him. But then is our action really exhibiting, yes, we are surrendered? No, our actions don't. They don't comply with what we are saying, what we are thinking and telling others. Yes, I'm surrendered. Krishna says this in the Bhagavad Gita. He knows our mind so well. I'm doing here, like every day we are doing a shloka. We are doing a 2-hour class every day in Delhi these days. And we are doing Bhagavad Gita right from shloka 1. So it's like when I take people's realizations, they send me their realizations. I've got a group of like, say, 400 people with me, those who are on my WhatsApp also, and they send me all their realizations. Then they are all new people. Because of this pandemic, they have come with me, you see. Krishna has really, it has proved positive in this sense that they have realized, yes, there is something beyond all those brands we buy, something all beyond the big houses we live or big cars we desire. There is something much beyond that we should be now doing for. And that's our spirituality, our own spirit soul, we should be doing something. So their realization, they say, Krishna has defined in the Bhagavad Gita so nicely everything that it seems that He knew our minds. He knew the doubts in our minds. Yes, He knows the doubts in our mind. And when we say, oh, I'm surrendered, are we really surrendered? No. We have lots of apprehensions. We have lots of inhibitions. we don't fully surrender. We say, if Krishna fails, then what happens? I desire something, and if I'm asking from Krishna, if he fails to give, let me go to some other god. Let me have something in my hand that I may turn to the other god, and then he will hear, and then you see, I will get it from there. And yet, I believe in Krishna. I'll say, yes, I believe in Krishna. No, that is, we are looking for very quick results. And Krishna says, Bhagwan kehte hain, he says in the Bhagavad Gita, I will give you the quick results through my energies, through my agents, those who are working. Rather, these are his agents, they are working. Like the Prime Minister has a cabinet, Krishna has a cabinet. The Prime Minister doesn't come out every day to give a speech or every day tackle the problems of the people. It's his cabinet of ministry, they tackle the problems. Respective minister goes and tackle the respective problems. So likewise, Krishna has got 33 million, 33 crore Devi Devta we say. He's got so big cabinet. And they all are working. They are all working under his control. And then what we think, oh yes, I need this thing. Maybe he doesn't, he's so far away. Let me go to this cabinet minister. Let me go to him and then he will listen to me. I want something regarding education, let me go to Saraswati. Like my children's education, let me pray to Saraswati, let me pray to Ganesha, let me pray to even Shivji is Mahadev. He is like God, but not God himself again, because he himself chants the glories of Krishna. He spoke the Srimad Bhagavatam, glories of Bhagavatam to Parvati. Gita Mahattam, the glories of Bhagavad Gita, he spoke to Parvati. And his Parvati Devi, she asked what one should be doing. And then he says, one should be singing the glories of Krishna, the ultimate Vishnu, the prime Vishnu, Krishna. One should be singing the glories of Krishna. There is a very interesting katha. Other day I was doing Prasadam, Mahaprasadam, the glories of Mahaprasadam. And we did a katha, a small story, where Naradji, he approaches Lakshmi. And he asks Lakshmi ji that I want Mahaprasad. I want to have the Mahaprasad of Krishna. So she says, Krishna has stopped me. He has told me not to distribute my Mahaprasad. So I cannot give you. So he really coaxes her. He says, please, please, he pleads with her. So she says, okay, I will ask Krishna that, can I give you? She's Narayan's wife. So she says, I'll ask Narayan. Narayan is again Krishna himself. So she approaches Narayana and she asks that, like Naradji was pleading for Mahaprasad, can I give him? So he says, Narayanji says that when I'm not aware of it, you can take some from my plate and you can distribute it to him. She does that. She picks up the Mahaprasad when the next time Narayan, he's having his prasadam, she picks up a few things and give it to Naradji. Naradji takes that Mahaprasad and he really, he relishes it. He dances, he eats it all and he's dancing with joy that he has got, because it is very durlabh. It's a durlabh means it's very, very, with lot of difficulty you get the Mahaprasad of Krishna. So he takes that Mahaprasad, he relishes it, and while dancing he lands into Shivji's loka. He's there at Kailash Parvat before Shivji. Shivji asks him, why are you so much joyful? So he says, today I got a chance, I got Mahaprasad of Narayan. So Shivji says, where is my share? He says, oh, I didn't know I had to get for you, so I don't know. I don't have anything. I've just finished all. He said, no, there must be some grain left on your hands. And Naradji and Shivji are like, they are wrestling with each other. Shivji really wants to see his hands, And Naradji actually lifts his hand and there is a grain on his finger, a small rice grain clinging. Now, Shivji picks it up and puts it in his mouth and starts dancing. He says, I'm so fortunate I got the Mahaprasad. He's dancing and dancing. All the demigods come up. And the demigods are asking why? Because you dance when, we all know Shivji dances when there is the Tandav. But he is dancing joyfully. Parvati also comes. So now Parvati asks, why are you so joyful? So he says, I've got Mahaprasad, I'm so lucky. She says, I wanted some. Why didn't you keep some for me? So he says, oh, now it's not for everybody's cup of tea that you get Mahaprasad so easily. She really gets annoyed and she starts doing a tapasya. And when she is doing the tapasya, Naraji is very pleased with her and he appears before her. Narayan, he is very pleased and he appears before her. And Krishna then he asks Shiv Parvati that why are you performing this austerity? She says, I want your Mahaprasad. Everybody is relishing your Mahaprasad, but I could not get it. I want it. You are very dear to me. I want it. So he says, you have performed such an austerity. Now I'll bless you. When in the form of Jagannath, in Jagannath Puri, whenever the Mahaprasad is cooked, like every day it is cooked, Chappan Bhoga is cooked, it is offered to Jagannath, Lord Jagannath, then it comes to Bimla Devi. He told Parvati, you will be known as Bimla Devi. When I'll be known as Jagannath in the Puri temple, you will be installed as Bimla Devi there. She is the goddess again, Parvati herself. So you will be the Bimla Devi there, and after the offering done to me, the thali will straight away come to you. You will relish every day the Mahaprasad, and then it will be distributed outside. So like this, Parvati got the blessing from Krishna. So these are the stories that tell us, yes, these are the stories from the Puranas, we cannot defy them. And yes, they are very pleased. All the demigods, Devi Devtas, the energies, the agents of the Lord, supreme power, they are very pleased with it when they get the blessings of the supreme controller. And Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita himself, in the 7th chapter, he's again and again said this. Yes, they are all my energies. And if you go to them, it is okay if you are going to them. But you are going for quick results. He knows this. Krishna knows everything. So he says, you're going for quick results there. But this is a place of misery. Other day I took a lecture saying that world is like a dream for us. Ye jag supne jaisa. This sansar is like a dream. So dream is, you have to awaken from the dream. So one should awaken from the dream. We are all slumber, we are all sleeping and we are dreaming. This world is a dream for us. Supne jiyo sansar. The Gurbani says, the Granth Sahib says, the world is like a dream. And it will just perish any day. Any moment, this can go away. So he is the controller and we should wake up into Krishna consciousness. Then we will be with the permanent. Because Krishna is the permanent. We are temporary jivas. All the demigods are temporary. So their results are also temporary. We know Brahmaji has got a life, 100 years of the celestial 100 celestial years. And Brahmaji's life it comes to 3,040,000,000,000 years. And our life is nothing before his. If we go to the higher planets, our life is like 70 years. It is just like one shan, 1 second, fraction of a second, our life is before his life. We live only for a fraction of a second of Brahma. That's it. And to us, it seems like we are living for 70, 80, 60 years. But for him, it's just fraction of a second we are here. So we are impermanent. All the demigods are impermanent. All this world is impermanent. There is only one thing permanent that Krishna says, that's me. Eternal is me, Sat Chit Anand. I am eternal, he says. And then I am eternal, then what is there? My loka is also eternal. Where I live, where I reside, that is also eternal. He says that's also eternal. So come to my dham. Surrender and come to me. But then how does that surrender come? And how does that surrender show? That surrender shows in our action. If we are not acting what we are speaking, our actions don't match with our what we speak, with our lips, our actions don't match, then this will create a problem. This will create a problem in the later years when it will be very difficult to rectify our mistake. The Gurbani, the Granth Sahib says, I've written the book, The Vaishnava Teachings in Sikhism, you all know that maybe. So it is there, the Gurbani says that you wake up, not when you should wake up, but you wake up at the time when in the end of last breath, when the Yamka Danda Mund pe lage, when the Yamaraj, he hits his danda on your head. When he's about to take your life away, the soul away, then you awaken into it. And then it's very late. Then it's too late. You cannot rectify the problem now. You have to, now you'll have to suffer. And that suffering is you will have to come back again in this material world. For 84 lakhs of species, again you will be here. So we don't want to come back. We who are awakened, we who know Krishna is saying this, we who are really reading Bhagavad Gita, going deep into it, we can understand this. Yes, this is, we have to do what Krishna says in our actions. So Bhagavad Gita is a science that has to be done practically. It's a way of life. It's no religion. Bhagavad Gita is no religion. It's not a religion. It is the way of life. It is for everybody. Krishna says, Jagato Mata Pitama. I'm everybody's father, mother. Everybody's. He didn't say, I'm the father of only so-called Hindus or so-called this religion and so-called Brahmins only and so-called this gender only. No. He says, I am available for everybody and for all. So this is what Krishna says this, and we should be following it. In our actions, it should be there. We know this. Krishna says here, I've put the slide here, the result awarded by those gods are actually given by Krishna alone, for whom the gods are but agents. So these are just agents. The demigods are just the agents. And the agents are, what is there? They are working under the Supreme Controller. And if we directly surrender to Krishna, then what happens? He says, I'm very happy. I'm very pleased with you. When you directly come to me. So we have to go directly to him. He says, you can come directly. There is no need in between. You should not diversify yourself. If you come directly to me, I will bless you. He says that. Those devotees are very dear to me. Those who perform devotional service on the knowledge, on the Shuddha Gyan, on the true knowledge. He says, those devotees are very dear to me. And those who take this knowledge and spread this knowledge, those who chant themselves and make others chant, they are very, very dear to me. They are dear most to me. So we have to become dear most to Krishna. So this is a golden chance. This human life is a golden chance for us. And in the Bhagavad Gita, I think so you all are reading with Bali Yagna Prabhu. You know that there have been so many verses he must have done with you so many times. The 7th chapter, it's got the verses beginning from 20, 21, 22, 23. All Krishna is talking about the demigods. And demigods are his agents. And agents should be, it says that naam lena hai, jo jap karna hai, the chanting has to be done of Krishna. And we say, theek hai, the Ganesha is all Vighan Vinashak. He removes all obstacles. And you know from whom Ganesha gets all the powers? He gets from Narsinghdeva. Narsinghdeva is Krishna himself again. He gives all the power to remove the obstacles. Srila Prabhupada, he made it a point that Narsingh Aarti should be sung in all the temples to remove all the obstacles in bhakti. All the obstacles. Even the material obstacles are removed by Narsinghdeva. I was the other day doing a very beautiful story of Pad Sevanam Devi Dasi. I don't know, have you done Bali Yagna Prabhu, this story? It's mute there. No. Pad Sevanam Devi Dasi was she was a Russian devotee from Uzbekistan. And Avaholam, have you heard of Avaholam? Avaholam is where Narsingh Dev Ji, the thumb is there. There is that there are 9 Narsingh Dev Vigraha there, all at different levels. And the topmost, there is the stham, the pillar, they say, from where Narsingh Dev appeared. And Avaholam is it's very difficult trek to reach the main temple up on the hill. It's a very difficult trek. Nowadays, it's a bit easier, but I'm talking about the years in early 2000, nearly 20 years back. In 1979, Indraduman Maharaj, he went there. Then he says it was written in near that temple, it was written, beware of the tigers, beware of the wildlife here. And at that moment, he went there. And then there was a boy in 96, a devotee boy from America, Dhruva Das. He came with his parents when he was like in his teens. He came to Vrindavan and he was fascinated with Vrindavan. He went back and he made it a promise with him that after like 2-3 years, when he's 18, he'll save the money and he will come back again on his own to explore the spiritual life in India. And he did it. He says, and when I was 18, I had accumulated money with me, and I went to the temple in. They were staying in Alachua, maybe. He says I went to the temple to pray to God to guide me. I'm going to India, so guide me where I should go. So he says he was in the temple, and suddenly there was like wind was blowing, and there was Back to Godhead magazine lying there. And suddenly a page opened with a picture of Narsingh Deva and the story of Indraduman Maharaj with the Narsingh Deva picture on it, and about Avalam. He's got fascinated. He said, "This is Krishna's order for me that I should go to Avalam." So he came to Delhi, he came to India, and he went to Balaji Tirupati temple of ISKCON Tirumala Hills. He went there and he was with the devotees few days, and then after that the devotees asked, "Where are you going?" He said, "I'm going to Avolam." They all got scared and they said, don't go, it's not safe there." He said, no, I have to go. And he somehow made it. To cut short the story, he made it. It was a very tough, there's a big story about it also, but eventually he made it. He stayed. Krishna, I tell you, there was a miracle like in his life. I will tell you that he reached there is Vedagiri Hills, maybe I'm right, that is the name. That is the base. He reached the base in a bus, and 90, like it was 98 or 99 maybe. So he was a single foreigner there with people around him don't understand English even. He reached there in a bus, and he said he landed at the bus stop. So there were people around him. They surrounded him because he was a foreigner. They all surrounded him, and one of the English speaking man with a very broken English, he reached him and he said, "Where are you going?" He said, "I'm going to Avolam." And when he told the public there that he's going to Avolam, everybody started staring at him, that how come he's going to Avolam? But then he says he found a nice place to take a shower. He went inside that hotel to take a shower, and suddenly a person started banging his door. He opened the door very fearfully, that nobody knows me, why somebody has come here to my room. And there was a boy standing there, and that boy said, "Are you going to Avolam?" Then he said, "How do you know?" He says, "The whole town knows you're going to Avolam." And then he said, "I'm also going to Avolam tomorrow, and I'm also an initiated disciple. So will you want me to come with you? I'll take you, I'll guide you. I've been there earlier." So Krishna sent him. Narsingh Dev sent a person. This is Krishna. I'm telling you this because all the obstacles are eradicated by the Supreme Controller. We don't need to go to his agents. Krishna is very happy when we go directly to him. So he was very bewildered, it is strange that somebody is approaching. He said, "It's Krishna's plan again." And they both went to Avolam. They stayed the night in the temple up in the hills. There were bears that came, they met the snakes, and a lot of story he told. That it was a thrilling story. He picturized everything. And then when he came back, he made a video of it and he posted the video. Now this Uzbekistan devotee, a lady, 70-year-old lady, she saw that video. And her life story is also very interesting. She was an old lady and she got a Prabhupada Bhagavad Gita, just like when they were distributing Bhagavad Gita, the devotees were distributing, she just got one. She read it. She was fascinated with it. She was totally into it. She started chanting on her own without any guidance. And one day she went to the Uzbekistan temple. When she landed in the temple, they asked her, "Are you coming for the first time?" She said, "Yes." The devotee says that I made all the first timers sit in one place and I was about to give them the knowledge about Krishna. So they have come first time, so let me tell them the Bhagavad Gita glories and all. So he was about to tell them, and he saw this lady was already enthusiastically telling everybody. And she's telling everybody, "You should read this You should read this verse. You should do this chanting. There is Hare Krishna chanting. Srila Prabhupada, she knew everything. So he asked her, how you know everything? She said, I know everything because I have read this Bhagavad Gita. A devotee gave it to me. And finally she said, I want to dispose of my house, give the money to the temple, and I want you to just provide me one room here, and I will stay my life here with the devotees. They made a room for her outside and she started staying there. And then she saw this video. When she saw this video, she was totally fascinated. And this at that time, the puja of Narsingh Dev was not being conducted in that temple up in the hills. Only once a while the pujari used to come to do the puja there, once in a week. So there is, once in a week he used to come. So she said that Narsingh Dev has asked me to come to Avolam because his puja archana is not being done, and I need to go there. I need to go there and help in the service there. So people thought, the devotees thought she's gone like mad, at the age of 70, a foreigner, she wants to go there. So this story I'm telling you because when we are surrendered to Krishna, Krishna makes the plans for us. This is the direct surrender. The direct surrender, the direct approach to Krishna, he makes all the plans easier for us. He makes his service easier for us. Our surrender, if just one step we take, hundreds and millions of steps Krishna takes. So this is the direct service. And she landed in Avolam. She was too much into it. And there's a big story. You can Google it and read it all about. She reached Avolam. Even the governor of this place, I think so, Telangana, he had to come to visit her because it was all over the press that a lady from Uzbekistan is living in the jungles of Avolam. And she's helping out. The pujari had to come daily. She said, you have to come daily. And the pujari agreed. He used to come daily, and she was living just right near the temple. All the villagers, there was a local village down there in the hills. They came up, they made a small house hut for her. And she used to say that Narsingh Dev he accepts my prasadam. He talks to me. She used to say that. And the day she passed away, she was kneeling down to the picture of Narsingh Dev, and she was kneeling down, her head at the lotus feet of Narsingh Dev, and she passed away. So these are the stories they tell us, because one story I told you from the Puranas. This one I told you very latest, that happened right now, 20 years back. So because our faith becomes strong. If the Purana stories, one may say, oh, that's an old thing, it's from the scriptures, hard to believe. But then, how come Krishna again, he has proved this again just 20 years back. Then 50 years back, Srila Prabhupada, his own dear disciple, dear devotee, he proved this. That so many people, we are a family, like you are there, I'm here. So how we are connected? It's all Krishna's mercy. Vasudev Kutumbakam, we have been hearing. I said, no, some things we have been listening, hearing a lot, but then we have not experienced them. So Krishna consciousness is one thing. When experienced, it brings it's realization, because Krishna says you will learn, you will perceive this by realization. His own knowledge can be perceived by realization, self-realization. And we all can do it. You all can do it. I can do it. Everybody, those who chant, those who surrender, they can do it. So we should be surrendering to Krishna rather than going to the demigods. And one thing, we go to demigods, why? For quicker results. Second, we think that if Krishna, we'll go to Krishna, then it will take a lot of time. And maybe he will give it or not give it. But the demigods, they have been given the power, they have been empowered by Krishna to give us. Like Shivji, he's Ashutosh. We all know that. He's known as Ashutosh. Ashutosh means who gets pleased very quickly and who gets angry also very fast. But then he will give you the benediction without even thinking twice about it. Whatever you ask, he will give it. It's sure. without thinking that it's good for you or not for you. And it's not for you. But Krishna will give you the thing that is the best for you. That is there. He will give us what is best for us. He says that we know the story of Bhasmasur. Many of you must be knowing it. Is there anybody who doesn't know it? The story of Bhasmasur. You all know it? You can just lift your hand if you don't know it. Okay, fine. The Bhasmasur was doing a lot of austerity, and he was Shiv Bhakta. He was doing a lot of austerity, very tough austerity. He was apna hi ang kaat ke he was putting in the fire. He wanted a blessing from Shivji. That what the blessing was, that whosoever he puts his hand on, he may perish, he may die. And Shivji, he appeared before him and he said, why are you performing such an austerity, Stop doing it. Then he said, bless me, give me this benediction that I may, whomsoever I put my hand on, he may perish. And then Shivji had to give it because he gets pleased. Without thinking, he will give. He gave this benediction. Now, Bhasmasur was very clever. He wanted to do this with Shivji only. He started running after Shivji. He said, I want to put my hand on you. And Shivji had to make a run, And where would he get the shelter? He went to Krishna. He asked Krishna, help me. And Krishna knows everything. So he said, calm down, pacify Shivji, I'll help you. And then he took a form of a young Brahmana, a child, Brahmana child, innocent child. And he appeared before Bhasmasur. And then Krishna said in that form to Bhasmasur, you're running after Shivji, you've got a benediction, you say that whomsoever you will put your hand on will perish. So do you really trust Shivji? Will he really give such a benediction? He is himself, he is always with snakes around his neck and he's got all that ashes on him. And do you think it's like he could ever give such a benediction? You should first try it on somebody else, And with a lot of innocence, the child is speaking to Bhasmasur. Bhasmasur really was hypnotized. Krishna can do anything, He can entice anybody. So he enticed him even. And then Bhasmasur said, yeah, I should think over like this. Then with innocence, the child says, why don't you just touch your own head and see what happens? And Bhasmasur did that, and he perished himself. So like that way, Shivji was again blessed by Krishna, that he helped him. So these are the stories that really reflect that we should be surrendering to Krishna. Our surrender should be, it says unalloyed. With demigods, what we are doing, we are not devotees with them. We are doing business with them. That's what it says. We do business with them. We say we'll keep so many fasts and this is what we want in return. And we are really, it is that we are adamant on that. Yes, give me this, we pester. With demigods, we think, yes, they will listen to us. Krishna will take too long, so no need to go there. We just do the puja archana there. But our hearts we give to the demigods. But then that is not the real surrender. The real surrender is when we totally, whatever Krishna gives us, that's a blessing. It says, whatever he gives, that is a blessing. He gives us, Krishna says, I may give, like, if you are with me, there is nothing inauspicious and nothing auspicious. Everything is mine. So that is there. We come out of many superstitions when we are surrendered to Krishna. We come out, many come out of them. You will feel your life more relaxed, more stress-free when we are surrendered to Krishna. When our faith is very strong on Krishna. Then there is it's not like that you will be, you think that if this thing doesn't happen, then what will happen? Because Krishna has got lots of ways out. He gives you many options. Your surrender will show you. You see, Many times people have given this realization, maybe you also have had it. I'm talking very practical. I'm not taking any verses from here right now, but I'll take one or two later. It's there that you open up, you have any doubts in your mind, just open up a page of Bhagavad Gita at random. You will get your answer. Many people have done this and they still do it. Whenever they are in stress, you just open up the page, Krishna gives you the answer. This happens because he is the supreme controller. He says, Sarvasya cham hidis sanmishta mata smriti jnanam aponancha videsh sarve ram veda vedant krit veda vid eva chaham. Because I am seated in your heart and I know everything. He knows everything. Namdev Ji, if you have heard, Namdev Ji is from Maharashtra. What he said, it's recorded in the Granth Sahib. He says, for Krishna and Ram, I will sell all the Devi Devtas. He goes to that extent. He says, I will give up all Devi Devtas, demigods, for Krishna and Ram. He addresses Ad Bhavani. He addresses the Durga. He says, Ad Bhavani, Mukat ki bari aayi tab kahan chapani. When this chance comes, when you have to give the benediction that I should get liberated, I ask that benediction from you, Durga, but you go in hiding. You go away. You don't, because you cannot give it. Only Krishna can give the mukti. He is the Mukundata. That is why he's called Mukunda, because he only can give the mukti. For liberation, only Krishna can give. Even the demigods they have a life. They have to take the shelter of Krishna. And Shivji is Vaishnav Yatha Shambhu. He is you may say, the biggest spiritual master. He is Vaishnav, Param Vaishnav. Vaishnav Yatha Shambhu. He is Param Vaishnav. He's full of detachment. He doesn't have a house even. So he is full of detachment. But he has been given what he has been allocated the job. His job allocation is that he has to do the upliftment of the Bhuta Pishach Yoni, all those people, ghost, Bhuta Pishach, ghost, those who fall in that Yoni, he has to take care of them, elevate them, bring them to the spiritual level. That is his duty. And annihilation, he helps in that. So this is there. Shivji has got that. Brahmaji has again gone, he's been allocated his duty. Likewise, all the Devi Devtas have been allocated their duties. Surya Bhagwan, Chandra Devta, Surya Devta, they all have their duties to perform. So they all have been allocated different duties. They all into it. So we have to really listen to Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, what he is asking from us. He is asking, Sarva Dharma Paritajya Mam Ekam Shanam Vraja. Now we say, give away all your dharmas. So when the Bhagavad Gita was spoken, there was no dharmas called the Hindu, Sikh, Muslim, Isai. No dharmas were there. They are man-made dharmas. What is the real dharma? All our inhibitions, he says, shed them away. All your doubts and apprehensions. Come to your real swabhav. Dharma means your nature, your original swabhav. That is. He says, come to me, surrender unto me, and give up all your doubts and apprehensions. This is a doubt in our mind that if I give away the puja of this demigod or this Krishna's energy, then what will happen? Then what will happen is then your surrender will be complete. Naito, our surrender is not complete. It's incomplete. When we don't fully surrender, then it's not surrender. Surrender means fully taking shelter. That's surrender. And surrender with devotion. One surrender is at the gunpoint. When somebody comes to rob you, he puts a gun on your head. So, but the other surrender is when you do it spontaneously, voluntarily. And Krishna expects a voluntary surrender. And voluntary surrender comes from your heart. That's why he said to Arjuna, give me your mind and intelligence and fight. So he said, give me your mind and intelligence. Give me your heart. So Krishna wants our heart. So any questions? How long?
Yes, Mataji. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Mataji, I have one question.
Yes.
I have just read Yatharoop Bhagavad Gita one time only, and somewhere it is mentioned that Krishna is the creator of everything, all the demigods and everything, and he's present in every particle of everywhere, every particle. and the demigod itself is the form of Krishna. So if someone is worshipping them, so they are also worshipping Krishna also, because what he said, whenever the need arises, he come in that form, the form you see. If you are seeing the Shivji form, he will come and help in the Shivji form. So it is all the same thing. If you are worshipping the Shivji or any other god, he is getting worship, because he is the one who is present everywhere.
But then you did not read it completely. He said that I give my power, I empower all the demigods. But then
Yeah.
I even make your faith strong in them. If your faith is towards one demigod, I make it strong. You think you are coming to me. But then in the last line he says, ye truti purna bhakti hai. This is doing a fault way. This is not the correct way of doing bhakti. He said that.
So what I'm saying is that
Yes.
he is also the form ना, he is also the form. वो भी एक उन्हीं का रूप है, क्योंकि सब कुछ उन्होंने ही बनाया है, right?
हाँ, सब कुछ
So
भगवान ने
वो
बनाया है. That is right.
so वो भी उन्हीं का ही form है. Like even the particle is his form.
Hmm.
और उसमें कहीं पे ये भी लिखा है, I'm not very remember the verses and everything. I have just read once only.
Seven
कि
chapters.
आप जिस रूप में आप उनको देखते हो, वो उस रूप में आपके आके हेल्प करते हैं.
वो कहते हैं 7 चैप्टर का 20th वर्स है, 21st वर्स है, मैंने पहले कहा 22nd वर्स है, 23 वर्स है. ये सब भगवान ने डेमीगॉड्स के बारे में ही बताया, चर्चा की है. क्यों बताया है? और ये बताया अपने ज्ञान वाले चैप्टर में, नॉलेज ऑफ द एब्सोल्यूट. बिकॉज विदाउट द नॉलेज उन्होंने कहा मुझे शरणागति नहीं दी जाएगी. विदाउट नॉलेज सरेंडर नहीं आएगा. सो पहले नॉलेज लो और शुद्ध भक्ति करो तो शरणागति आएगी. So knowledge के साथ शरणागति देनी है. Then he says here, I will just read the, इसमें आपको मैं I'll just read the translations. Those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own natures. See, those whose intelligence has been stolen by material senses, material desires. जो material spiritual desires नहीं है, those who have material desires, those who want big house, big car, they go to Durga Mata because she has been empowered. She is the Durga. वो इस दुर्ग की देवी है. This मृत्यु लोका is a Durga, दुर्ग. और उस दुर्ग की जेलर जो है वो दुर्गा है. Durga is the, she is there to give us everything जो इस संसार का है. So he says they material desires are they surrender unto the demigods. फिर होता क्या है, आप वही शरणागति दे देते हो. आपको एक इच्छा पूरी हो गया वहां से, आप सोचते हो अगला भी जो मांगना है मेरे को इन्हीं से मांग लेता हूं. और हम मटेरियल मांगने लगते हैं. देयर इज अ डिफरेंस. हम भक्ति करना चाहते हैं या मटेरियल चाहते हैं. देयर आर टू थिंग्स. वी आर either we want the material things or we want the spiritual. Spiritual is bhakti, that is devotion, that will give us peace and happiness in this world also. Material चीजें temporary है, वो इस संसार में हमें मिलेंगी, but then what happens is वो हमें इस संसार में फंसा लेंगी. That is why Krishna is, वो हमें सावधान कर रहे हैं. He is making us aware of this fact. अगर ऐसा करोगे तो ऐसा हो जाएगा, तुम यहीं फंस जाओगे, फिर मेरे घर नहीं आओगे. ये हमारी चॉइस है. Ultimately Bhagavad Gita is all on choice, you know. Attitude is a choice, happiness is a choice. ये सब choice है, हमारी choice. कोई कहता है ना everything is destined, ये तो होना ही था. नहीं, ये होना नहीं था. Situation होना था, वो situation होनी थी. आपका response, आपका reaction आपका अपना है. वो कृष्णा का नहीं है, वो आपका अपना है. वो रिएक्शन भगवान ने नहीं बनाया, वो रिएक्शन आपको देना है. आपका रिएक्शन बताएगा कि आप क्या करोगे, आपका अगला कैसे होने वाला है, फ्यूचर कैसा होने वाला है, वो आपका रिएक्शन बता देगा. If you are too much into material things, then that means you are too much after demigods. आप demigods को छोड़ना ही नहीं चाहते because you are too much into material. ये भगवान ने प्रूव कर दिया. ये बोलकर भगवान ने आगे बोला, I am in everyone's heart as super soul. As soon as one desires to worship some demigod, I make his faith steady so that he can devote himself to that particular deity. भगवान कहते हैं मैं ये लो उसका faith भी strong कर देता हूँ. It's just like अगर चोर चोरी करना चाहता है तो आप कहोगे फिर भगवान तो हृदय में बैठे हैं, रोकते क्यों नहीं. भगवान चोर की हेल्प करते हैं चोरी करने में. आप कहोगे ऐसा क्यों करते हैं भगवान. How is he? Why is he helping? वो गलत कर रहा है और भगवान हेल्प कर रहे हैं क्योंकि उसकी इच्छा है. भगवान उसको चॉइस, उसकी चॉइस से चला रहे हैं, हमारी चॉइस से हमें चलाएंगे, हमारी एटीट्यूड जो है, हमारा चॉइस जो होगा उससे भगवान हमें चलाएंगे. सो ही सेज हियर कि जैसी आपकी चॉइस है, अगर आपका चॉइस उस डेमीगॉड के ऊपर फेथ आ गया है, तो आई मेक योर फेथ स्ट्रॉन्ग ऑन दैट डेमीगॉड. फिर भगवान से फेथ हट जाएगा, कम हो जाएगा. और जब भगवान से फेथ कम हो गया तो हम स्पिरिचुअली घाटे में आ जाएंगे. दैट्स अ बिग स्पिरिचुअल लॉस. मटेरियल गेन हो जाएगा, स्पिरिचुअल लॉस हो जाएगा. सो इट इज आवर चॉइस. We want a spiritual gain or a material gain. And then he says in the 22nd shloka, endowed with such a faith, he endeavors to worship a particular demigod and obtain his desire. Right? आप particular demigod को pray करते हो और फिर वहां से अपनी desire इच्छा पूरी कराना चाहते हो. But in actually these benefits are bestowed by me alone. So Krishna says, at the end, I am the controller. These are being bestowed by me alone. मैं ही दे रहा हूँ. So why not come direct to me? Then he says, men of small intelligence worship the demigods. He says now men of small intelligence. Those men, those who are totally for materialistic things, they have been called like men of small intelligence. Because वो उसके ऊपर नहीं सोच रहे हैं कि मटेरियल लेकर भी क्या करेंगे, संसार में फंसे रह जाएंगे. ये दुखों का घर है, यहाँ सुख है ही नहीं. सुख बहुत ही मोमेंटरी आता है और फिर छिन जाता है. कृष्णा सेज दिस इज टेम्पररी वर्ल्ड, इट्स फुल ऑफ इल्यूजन. ये एक भगवान के सामने एक पिक्चर चल रहा है और हम उस पिक्चर के वी आर द डिफरेंट कैरेक्टर्स. गुरबाणी ग्रंथ साहब में एक वर्ड्स आता है, बटाऊ स्यूं जो लावे ने उस हाथावे खे. इसका अर्थ है, बटाऊ मीन्स यात्री. All are traveling. We all are traveling in the train, you know. There is a train going, this Jeevan is a train. And we all are traveling. We are all co-passengers. जिसका स्टॉप आएगा, जिसकी लिखा है जब जाना है वापस, वो उतरता जाएगा, वो वापस जाता जाएगा. So बटाऊ स्यूं जो लावे ने, अगर हम co-passengers भी आपस में बहुत ज्यादा अटैचमेंट कर लेंगे, एंटैंगलमेंट कर लेंगे, एक दूसरे से अटैच्ड हो जाएंगे. So material है हमारा रिलेशनशिप. So material relationships, material things, if we get entangled into them, उस हाथावे खे, और बाद में सिर्फ क्या मिलता है, मिट्टी ही मिलती है. What will we get in getting attached to the co-passengers, attached to material things? Ultimately, हमने तो मिट्टी ही होना है. Ultimately, we will be just, we'll merge into मिट्टी. Ashes बनेंगे, चाहे जला दिए जाए, चाहे दफना दिए जाए, तो बनेंगे तो मिट्टी. So it is there. Krishna says कि अंतवंतु फलमतेषाम. You must see the अंतवंतु, the how the end is going to be. We have a big vision. See what the end is going to be. Worry about the end. कि हमें present को कैसे करना है, कैसे जीना है कि हमारा future secure हो. So Krishna says the best is when you come back to me. Your future is secure. Then he says here, जो unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, was impersonal and now have assumed personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable. So Krishna says, my nature is, I am the supreme and imperishable. So those who come back to me, their dham, they attain my nature. They will, because our soul and the super soul, Krishna, the Paramatma के रूप में भगवान हमारे हृदय में है. So there is no.
Okay.
Yes. Anything else? In the 9th chapter also.
Yes, Mataji, I have one more question. That Krishna is the 8th avatar of Vishnu ji, and he is supreme. So could you please explain this?
He tells this. Even Brahma Samhita, Brahmaji declares, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Sachidananda Vigrana Adi Radhir Govinde, Sarva Karna Karnama. And Vishnus are, again, there are Asankhya Vishnus. And the main 3 Purusha avatars, they help in the creation. So they take up the creation part, they help, they manage that. So Supreme is again the Krishna. We say that it is, Brahmaji says, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, Nadi Radhir Govinde, Sarva Karana Karnam. He is the Karan of all the Karan. He is the Supreme. Eka Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Eka Krishna. It's only one Krishna. And if you'll go, he is the Supreme Personality. Many more scriptures they declare that there is only one, that is Krishna. He is the supreme power. In the Granth Sahib, the Guru Nanak Dev Ji declares this. Eka Krishna Sarab Deva Dev Devatma Atam Shri Vasudeva se Jeko Janas Teva Nanak Tako Das hai so Niranjan Dev. This means that Eka Krishna Sarab Dev Devatma. There is only one Krishna, he is the supreme controller. That is why he says, chant his glories, chant the name of Hari. The Kali Santran Upanishad says, chant the glories of Hari. Iti Shodash, this 16-worded Maha Mantra, it's not mantra, it is Maha Mantra, king of mantras. So everything goes into it. The Hare word, the Rama and Krishna, these three are the prime words, he said. Kali Santran Upanishad declares. So like this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Ekla Ishvara Krishna or Sarv Nritya, Yare Yache Nache Se Tache Kare Nritya. So there is only one Krishna, is the supreme controller, and all others are his servants. And they dance as he makes them dance. So this is there. Even the Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, I am the servant to that controller. So he is the supreme controller. He is there, and these Vishnu avatars we say, but Vishnu is again Asankhya Vishnu, and three Purusha Avatara Vishnu, Karnadakshai, Garbhadakshai Vishnu, then Shirodakshai Vishnu. These three help in the Srishti creation, creating the nature, and they help. What happens is that Shirodakshai Vishnu, he is there with us. He is the demigod form, he is there with us in our heart. He is always there with us. So this is Shirodakshai Vishnu. He is as a witness in our hearts. So Krishna is the supreme power. Though he appeared as the 8th incarnation, he appeared in this Manvantara, We are very fortunate that in every Brahma's day, he does not come. This, where we have come, he was here. Just 5,000 years back, he was here, and it was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he both were here. That happens very rarely. And we are very fortunate souls that they both were here during this time. Just 500 years back, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there. So these all are the auspicious signs for us that we can surrender easily. We can go, because it's history. It's our history. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in the history books. He was there. The Bhakti movement was there. Nobody can deny this. And all these miracles happened just 500 years back. So they are all been recorded. There are various evidences. So what happened? This is there, that he is the supreme power. There are many incarnations. They come according to the time and circumstances they have appeared. Like Narsimhadev, he appeared when Prahlad, he was being tortured by his own father, and he appeared from the pillar. Though pillar is not his home, that is not Krishna's abode. But when Hiranyakashipu asked that, does your God, he lives in this pillar? Prahlad had full confidence on Krishna. He said, yes, he is here in this also. And there Narsimhadev appeared. So it's our faith, the faith of the devotee, that makes Krishna appear before us. Why sometimes people say we can't see God, we can't see Krishna? Because we lack the faith. The day our faith is strong like Prahlad, Krishna has to come. He will appear. All these demigods, they pray. Dhruv Maharaj's story. It's the Dhruv Maharaj story is not only in the Bhagavatam. My faith, actually, personally speaking, how is so strong? Because I have been I've read the Granth Sahib. So the Granth Sahib, even it says this about the Dhruva story. It says, Ram japo ji aise aise, Troparla japeo har jaise. Chant the holy name of Hari like Dhruv and Prahlad did it. So Dhruva, when he was performing that austerity, what happened? He was performing the austerity to, as you might be knowing the story. So the austerity he was performing was so severe that all the demigods, they had to go and pray to Krishna, please go and give darshan to him. The Prithvi Devi, that's a demigod, she's a goddess. So Prithvi Bhu Devi, she had to go because she said that Dhruva was 5-year-old, and a 5-year-old, उनका जो अंगूठा होता है 5-year-old child का, जो पैर का अंगूठा होता है, कितना छोटा होता है, इतना सा होता होगा, just barely an inch even. And the Bhu Devi, she went personified form, she went to Krishna and folded her hands and she said, I cannot take the weight of Dhruva's toenail, the angutha, I cannot take the thumb pressure of Dhruva. She said, मैं धस रही हूँ, I am being pressurized, I am going down, I am drowning. So see, all the demigods, they have to go and pray to Krishna, please go and give him darshan. And the Granth Sahib has written this story, this Bhagavatam Katha, as it is there. It has been quoted there. That Prahlad, Dhruva was so much empowered by the tapasya that Hari had to come. Krishna had to appear before him. So that makes our faith strong that Krishna is the supreme. He is the controller. He is declaring it himself here. And he is right in declaring that, yes, he is the supreme. None other demigod make that claim. Nobody else has made the claim that I am the supreme. Only Krishna has made that claim. Yes, yeah. Any other question?
Mataji, in the chat window, we have a question from Deepti Bajaj, Mataji.
Okay. Where is it?
Should I read the question?
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, maybe Deepti Mataji, you are there. You can ask directly. You can read.
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yes.
Mataji, my question was like, since childhood we've been, praying demigods, different kinds of demigods. Like I have Vigrahas of Vaishno Mata and Ganesh Bhagwan ji and other gods also, right? Before I've been into the association of Bharat Prabhu and got to know this point that Krishna is supreme, and I understand and I agree with the fact. But at the same time, what I want to say is that can't we pray Krishna along with other gods that we've been doing since childhood? And we've been taught, as you said, that we for the material desires only we pray demigods. But we've been taught since childhood that we don't have to ask for anything from the God. God then himself knows what is to be given to us and what is our desires. We don't have to ask anything. He himself fulfills it, right? So will it not be considered a disrespect to other gods if we suddenly stop praying them and and I remove other vigrahas from my temple, that I should not be praying other gods?
Yeah, I understood your question. Because we have a lot of inhibitions and apprehensions, So these apprehensions and inhibitions, they do this with us, that it's difficult for us to surrender. This is not complete surrender. We want to hold them also, not leave them, and then we want to keep Krishna as well. So Krishna is testing us for this only, that how strong we are, that how we can let them go and just hold Krishna's feet. So that is really surrender. That surrender would come. So I would request you, don't feel that fear in you. Become fearless. Just hold Krishna's feet. Just Sharnagati dena hai to Krishna ko dena. And demigods, they don't get disrespected at all. They feel happy when you surrender to Krishna. There are many, many stories. There are many kathas in the Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita speaks of Krishna himself speaks that. Then Bhagavatam is full of stories. The Puranas have the stories. That once we surrender to Krishna, Krishna says here, Ananasamama chinteta janya paripasate. Teshan nitya bhaktanam yogashemam vahamyam. Once you do ananya bhakti, because with demigods on the altar, our bhakti gets diversified. We are not totally surrendered. वो disrespect बिल्कुल नहीं है. Hanuman ji, you see, he is already there on the Ram Darbar. He's never that he's not there. He's always worshipped there. He's always given full respect. So respect is one thing, but worshipping is one thing. We don't disrespect any demigod. We cannot. You see, the Gurbani says this, Anna Devata, Pani Devata. Even the salt what you eat, it's a Devata. Even the An is Devata. The jal you eat, the drink, that's Devata. So these are all Devatas. The ghee which you put in your food, that's a Devata. So he says, Jin Ram Naam Nalita, these all are Devatas in your thali. और ये भोजन बनता है. The Gurbani says, अन्न देवता, पानी देवता, अग्नि देवता. अग्नि भी देवता है जिस पर ये कुक हुआ है. 33 करोड़ ऐसे ही नहीं बनते. ये सब देवता हैं. ये सब जब मिलते हैं तो आपका भोजन तैयार होता है. पाक पवित्र, वो भोजन पवित्र भोजन तैयार होता है. फिर उसको जिन्होंने राम का नाम लेके उस भोजन को नहीं खाया, जिन्होंने भगवान को अर्पण नहीं किया वो भोजन, तित मुख थुक्का पहिया, उन्होंने सिर्फ अपने मुख में थूके ही डाली है, उन्होंने भगवान का प्रसाद नहीं लिया है, जिसने राम का नाम लेके भोजन नहीं खाया. So this is there, our faith becomes strong when we give, offer this to Krishna. So जब altar में सिर्फ कृष्ण होते हैं, हमारा faith और strong हो जाता है कि हम altar अपना एक clean altar where Devi Devtas are there, the back of the mind, they are the controllers. Krishna is going to depute them only. He has deputed them. The salt, the everything, the salt, everything we are having, that has been deputed by Krishna. So अगर हम इन सब का ऋण अलग अलग से नहीं उतार सकते हैं, अगर हम इन सबको भी ऑल्टर में रखते हैं, तो आपने अगर 2-4 रखे हैं, आपको 33 और रखने पड़ेंगे. जो मेन 33 है, फिर उनके और भी नीचे एक्सपेंशंस हैं, तभी वो 33 करोड़ बनते हैं. सिर्फ आप 2-4 को रख के नहीं उनको पूजा कर सकते. Then you have to keep at least all of them, because उन सबका ऋण है हमारे ऊपर. We are indebted to all of them. Just don't be carried away with our own mental speculation. Sometimes we are just mental speculation se carried away ho jate hain. And then Krishna says, those who are manmukh, even the Gurbani Granth Sahib says, those who are manmukh, they will just lose their birth. Ye janam gawa denge. Kyunki wo man se chalte hain, they don't follow the Guru, they don't follow the scripture, they don't follow Krishna himself. जो हरि का कहना नहीं मानते. So सिर्फ 2-4 देवी देवता का पूजा नहीं करना है, फिर you should be doing for all of them, क्योंकि सबका ऋण है हमारे ऊपर. We are indebted to all of them. तो जब हम, तभी भगवान ने सिखाया, जब आप जड़ में पानी डाल दोगे, जब आप मेरे को नमस्कार कर दोगे, मुझे शरणागति दे दोगे, तो आपने सबको नमस्कार कर दिया. तो हम कहते हैं हाथी के पैर में सबका पैर. So it is like that. In Krishna's feet, all are there. So in Mahamantra, all the mantras are there. You don't need to chant separate mantras for separate deities. उस महामंत्र में, महामंत्र कहा ही इसीलिए क्या कि उसमें सब निहित है. And then in Krishna's glorification, all demigods are glorified. ऐसा हुआ ही नहीं कि गणेश जी रह गए. गणेश जी वही हैं, वो हमारे पर कृपा करेंगे ही करेंगे, बिकॉज कृष्ण की पूजा कर रहे हैं हम, कृष्ण की भक्ति कर रहे हैं. मन भवा मद भक्तो मद याजी माम नमस्कुरु, ये भगवान मांग रहे हैं, ये डेमिगॉड्स नहीं मांगते. भगवान मांग रहे हैं कि मेरी पूजा करो, हमें सिखा रहे हैं. भगवत गीता है सिखाने के लिए. तो अर्जुन को सिखाया जा रहा है, हमें ज्ञान दिया जा रहा है कि सीखो, ऐसे करो. पर अगर फिर भी हम कहें नहीं, मैं अपने मन की करूंगा, then Krishna says it's your choice. Do what you want. So you will, if you do this, you will land up with me. If you do that, you will land up in their lokas. भगवान ने कह दिया गीता में, अगर तुम देवी देवताओं के 8th chapter में भगवान ने फिर से कह दिया, तुम अगर देवी देवताओं की पूजा करते हो, तो देवी देवताओं के लोक में चले जाओगे. After death, this thing is going to happen. You will go to their lokas, and there is the Brahma Loka, there is Chandra Loka. These all lokas you will go. And these Devi Devtas, they come for Krishna's. जब भी भगवान लीला करते हैं, ये सब भगवान की side roles play करते हैं, characters, different characters बन के आते हैं. You know, when Abhimanyu, who Abhimanyu was, when Abhimanyu was killed in the Mahabharata, then what happened? Arjun was very much bewildered. He could not fight now. We know that. We are reading Bhagavad Gita. Arjun was totally shattered. And Krishna then asked him, do you want to meet Abhimanyu? He became very happy. He said, yes, yes. Aap mere ko Abhimanyu se mila. And Arjun could go to Swargloka. He is the son of Indra. So Krishna took Arjuna to Swargloka. He took him to Chandraloka. And Chandraloka mein jab pahunche, to what Arjun sees, he can see his son there. He saw Abhimanyu there. He runs to Abhimanyu. He tries to hug him. And Abhimanyu says, who are you? He says, you are Abhimanyu. He says, no. That was just a fraction of a second role I had to play. According to the order of Krishna, I was there to play that role. I am the Chandra Devta. I am the Devta of this Loka, Chandralok. I just came down to play that role. So I am not your son. I have to fulfill the wishes of my master, that is Krishna. So that is there. So demigods को अगर हम पकड़ेंगे, तो हमारी भक्ति जो है वो कृष्ण के प्रति अधूरी रहेगी. उसको पूरा करने के लिए हमें डेमिगॉड्स को नमस्कार करना है, रिस्पेक्ट करना है, बट भक्ति कृष्ण की करनी है. ऑल्टर में सिर्फ भगवान होने चाहिए, विद राधा रानी और विद अ काउ. These two things, either Radharani, either a cow. These two are his favorite. So you can have a picture of Krishna with a cow or a picture of Radharani and Krishna together. And you can have the Vigraha of Gaur Nitai. They are very merciful. So Gaur Nitai, as you know, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a Yugal Roop of Radha and Krishna together. So this is there that we have to be very much enlightened by the knowledge. फिर इस knowledge का फायदा नहीं, अगर हमने इससे enlightenment ना हुआ और इस knowledge को accept नहीं किया, तो फिर ये knowledge को पढ़ने का, सुनने का फायदा नहीं होगा. जो real benefit है, दवाई अगर पूरी तरह से खाई जाए तभी फायदा करती है. आधी अधूरी दवाई फायदा ही नहीं करती है. आधी दवाई खा लेंगे अपनी मर्जी से. अभी सोचे हम, डॉक्टर ने 3 दिन की दवाई बोला है, हम 1 दिन ही खाकर सोचते हैं हम ठीक हो गए हैं, पर डॉक्टर को पता है ज्यादा कि 3 दिन का कोर्स पूरा करेंगे तो ये ठीक होंगे, तो पर हम अपने मन से करेंगे तो फिर बीमार हो जाएंगे थोड़े दिन बाद. सो इट इज देयर. आधी अधूरी जो चीज है वो कंप्लीट शरणागति नहीं है. सो हैव फुल फोकस एंड फुल सरेंडर. दैट फुल सरेंडर विल ब्रिंग कृष्णा टू reveal himself before you. He'll appear before you. That's it. So any other?
Yeah, Mataji. I think Shruti Harish is having one question. Shruti Mataji, can you ask directly?
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Actually, like there is one concept of Nimitta Matra, that is, we are all the instruments in the hands of Lord, and we just go as per His wish and His orders. So does it infer that whatever we are doing, whether it's like good or bad, I mean, whether it's like good actions or bad actions, was it all like pre-written, and was it all, like it's all happening on His orders, Mataji?
Yeah, I understand your question. I just answered it earlier also. I was just answering that when I said there is, जो हमारा choice है, that is independent, and the situation is destined. Destined होता है situation. Like to born in such a family, आपने मैंने नहीं चुना है कि मेरे पेरेंट्स कौन होंगे, मेरी लुक्स कैसी होंगी, मैं कैसे दिखूंगी या दिखूंगा, मेरा घर कैसा हो, मेरे किस फैमिली में मैं पैदा होऊंगा, ये हमने नहीं चुना. ये destined था. With our karmas it was destined. But then आगे जो हमने reaction देना है, इस उस reaction की independence भगवान ने दिया है. So आपका जो bad action या good action, it depends totally upon you, that what you are doing, that either you're responding in a positive way or in a negative way. That is your reaction. So reactions are not eternal. Bhagavad Gita gives us 5 things. Krishna speaks about himself in Bhagavad Gita, he is eternal. Jiva, the souls are eternal. All souls are eternal, Krishna said. They will never perish. Third, he talks of Kal, Samay, time. Time is eternal. It will never stop. It will keep on going and going. Cycle will go on, time cycle. Then fourth, he says the modes of material nature, the 3 gunas, the mode of passion, mode of ignorance, mode of goodness, these 3, they are eternal. They will be always there. These 4 things will be always there. Nobody can change them. You see? But 5 things, Krishna speaks of 5, which is the 5th one left out. That is karma. And main thing is we just catch hold of the karma thing. That Gita says, karam hi sar hai. Every action, whatever we are performing, Krishna is saying that is the complete in itself. Whether we are handling we are a grasta, we have a family. So this family is my God. People say that this business is my God. Work is worship. So work is worship. It becomes Krishna for him. So this is not done. It is there. The 5 things, out of 5 things, 4 things are eternal. Nobody can change them. But the karmas can be changed. Karmas are not destined. Karma is your reaction. Karma is your reaction. So whatever comes your way, how you react is going to decide your future. Abhi jo karma kara hai, usse that will make your future. If you, that is why Krishna said, I am seated in everyone's heart. Sarvasya cham hidi sanvishto. Mata smriti jnanam aponam cha. According to your desire, I work. If you want to come near to me, if you want to come closer to me, I will help you to come closer. I'll send devotees. They will knock your door. I'll send people who will make you chant. I will send people who will read Bhagavad Gita with you. So that means you want to come closer to me, and I'm making that all plans for you to come closer to me. But if you want to go away from me, you have very material desires and you just making excuses. I don't want Bhagavad Gita. I don't want to listen. I don't want to read this. I'm out of it. So Krishna will make all the plans for you. Then he'll make a plan. Let's watch a movie on Netflix. Let's do this. Let's not listen to Gita. Let's sit with the family and enjoy. Let's gossip. Let's do that. This is boring. Those thoughts will come to you. And then you will take action on them. So this is how Krishna works. He works according to your desire, the sincere desire of yours. So all the actions are not eternal. They can be changed. You can rectify your reactions. Your response is yours own alone. That will make your destiny. So that is why we said your destiny is in your hands. So when you follow Krishna's, that's what Krishna did with Arjuna. When he spoke the whole Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, he gave him the rights and wrongs. If you will perform this, this will happen. If you will do this, this will happen. If you are devotee of demigods, you go to their lokas. If you are my devotee, solely surrendered to me, you come to my loka, where there is no pain, no kuntha. But when you go to upper lokas of the demigods, you will be thrown back into the material world again. Again, you will come here and suffer. So the choice is now yours, he tells Arjuna. Yatha itsi tatha kuru. He says, if you'll fight your enemy, you will be benefited with that. You will get a kingdom to rule. You will be known as a warrior, a great warrior. Then you will be, you can come to my loka. You can go to the higher lokas, because being valiant, being brave, you will get the higher lokas. So there are, but if you do not fight, you will get infamy. Then he told Arjuna everything crystal clear. Then he gave the options before him. It's like Kaun Banega Karodpati. He gave the options to him. Now it is your choice. Options 1 or 2. You click where you want to go. Yatha itsi tata kuru. Jaisi icha hai, jaisa you desire, you do that. The way you desire. That same he tells us. He's given us everything. It's our desire how we want to do it. Either we want to go back to him or we want to suffer in this material world. That's it.
Mataji, so does it mean that there is no concept of fate pre-written, and it can be changed through our actions?
Yes. Yes. It can be changed. Situations will come. Your response should be according to what you, if you are thorough in the Gita, you're thorough with Krishna's philosophy, you're thorough with the Sharanagati concept, the surrender concept, then you will be definitely, your response will be positive. But if you are still bewildered, still mental speculator, then your result maybe you may suffer the positive, negative energy may encompass you. So it is there. If we are surrendered, it's 100% Krishna will take care of our minds. You know, there was when Duryodhan and Arjuna, when the war is about to begin, the Mahabharata, Duryodhan and Arjuna were invited by Krishna. He invited both of them because now the war is about to begin, the Mahabharata is going to begin. And he said, on one side, there are 2 options I'm going to keep before you. The first option is, I will not pick up any weapon. I will be a Nihatta Sarthi. Without any weapon, I'll be the chariot driver. One option. Second option is my army, the Narayani army. Fully equipped army. Fully equipped. And Arjuna is, some scriptures say Arjun picked first, some say Duryodhan. I'm going with the second one. So Arjun gave the chance to Duryodhan to pick up first. So Duryodhan picked up the army. He said, what will I do with a Sarthi, with a chariot driver? I've got hundreds of chariot drivers. I don't need a chariot driver. He did not pick up Krishna. He did not take that option. He picked up the Narayani Sena. And he was very happy. Krishna said, Tatastu, and he left the room immediately puffed up. He said, now I've already won, it's the battle is half won now. Because I have the army, so big army already I have, and I've got a big army again a big army has come. So what Pandavas have, nothing. They just have a chariot driver and few soldiers are there. A very small army they have. And he thought, I will win. He left the room. And now Krishna looked towards Arjuna. Arjuna is still baffled, very confused. He's starting. So Krishna said, why are you so baffled up? Why are you so tensed up? So Arjuna said that I was very worried the first option was given to Duryodhana. If he would have picked you up, then what would have happened to us Pandavas? Then Krishna said, I did not give him the intelligence to pick me up. How could he pick me up? So this is there. When we are surrendered, we are like Arjuna, then Krishna gives us the intelligence. Then where is the, then we don't have to worry anything. We will go back. Definitely we will go back. You know, that is there. Krishna will take us back, definitely. And he will give us the, what he's saying, the bliss, the pleasure, the peace and the happiness, he will surely give us. So no worries at all when we are devotees. So I hope I'm clear.
Meena ji, can you go with next? You can ask your question. Meena ji.
हाँ, हरे कृष्णा माता जी.
Yes.
ये पूछना था कि स्पिरिचुअल ग्रोथ तो जरूरी है डेफिनेटली, पर हम अभी सोसाइटी में रह रहे हैं. हाउ कैन वी बैलेंस बिटवीन मटेरियल डिजायर्स एंड स्पिरिचुअल ग्रोथ? यानी मटेरियलिस्टिक चीजें भी चाहिए. हम सोसाइटी में बॉर्न हुए हैं, हम आजू बाजू देखते हैं, तो हम उस सराउंडिंग में हैं, तो दोनों चीज को कैसे बैलेंस कर सकते हैं कि पॉसिबल ही नहीं है?
Excellent question. A wonderful question.
Thank you, Mataji.
Because this is what all the devotees are doing. We are grastas. I am a grasta. I am living in a family. I've got an extended family, a big family we have. So this is there. I live with my son and a daughter-in-law even. So this is there ki we need material things. That is there. Of course, we all need material things to survive in the material world. But
Yes.
it says there is one thing. Surrender to Krishna means you don't get entangled in the material things. The requirements will be there, the needs are there. Don't get entangled into the wants of this world, you know. There are two things, needs and wants. A devotee knows how to differentiate between a need and a want. Is this my need or it's my want? If what I am desiring, if it's my need, it is okay. But people are very clever. What they make their wants their needs, you know. The wants, don't make the wants your needs. Let the needs be needs only. So when the needs and wants, one will lead a simple life if one is only fulfilling his needs, you know. Then you don't need a lavish house. If you have a big house, it's fine. But if you have a big house, then make it to serve Krishna. Have a nice temple, have a nice satsanga, have nice, have welcome devotees there. So utilize your house for that. If you have a big house, Krishna has given you that power. So it is there. The devotees, they don't just hanker over for material things. They just don't linger on obsessed with the material things. That is because they are surrendered to Krishna. That will come when you are surrendered to Krishna. Simplicity in life will come, though it is most difficult to get simple in life. But agar aap kaho ki I cannot leave the material also, and I want the spiritual also, but I cannot leave the material. You don't have to leave the material. You just have to add Krishna to the material, and that material will become spiritual. You know, this laptop is totally material if I don't use it for Krishna's service. My laptop is totally material then. If I'm watching movies on this, if I'm watching all other shows on this, some soaps on this, then this is totally material. It's like, it's a material thing. But then I'm using for Krishna's service. I'm having programs on it. I'm meeting devotees on it. So that is there. We are utilizing the material thing even for Krishna's service. So this material thing is no more material. It is transcendental. So likewise, everything can become transcendental. Everything in our house, we can put into service of Krishna, you know. Everything, whatever we have in this world, it can be made to serve Krishna. Who says don't dress up nicely? You see, my Guru Maharaj, he taught me personally, he said. He told me personally, once he deputed me for a service, you know, where I had to meet, I was in the temple, I was wearing a cotton sari as usual. So he called me up. I was supposed to meet very devotees, like some film actors be there, and some more people were coming from big families. So he told me, dress up nicely and come and put a nice tilak. And I wore one of my finest saris with fine piece of jewelry with a tilak. And I went for that to welcome them, you know, welcome the devotees. So bhakti doesn't make you simple doesn't mean that you have to look like a, you know, a fakir or a pauper or a beggar. You have to be nicely. Prabhupada said, first dress and then address. dress up nicely to address the crowd, you know. So these small things are there. People think that if we are into bhakti, we will become like, you have to wear, you don't have to look nice, you have to wear crushed clothes and you become totally a pauper. No, you may be the richest person in the world, but then you are simple at heart. You are surrendered soul. You use your money, use your assets for Krishna's service. All the assets put into Krishna's service. Like Alfred Ford we have. He's the owner of Ford Motors. He's Srila Prabhupada's disciple. Ambrish Das is his name. He has recently donated such a big sum for Mayapur temple. So he is totally surrendered soul. But he has his business still going on. The Ford Motors is still there. It's working well. So, but he is surrendered. He is serving Prabhupada's mission. He is serving devotees. He's a nice, simple devotee. So likewise, these are examples before us, Prabhupada has set already. So that is there. You can easily manage, balance. Everything will come. You just add Krishna to your life. Once we add him, everything falls in place. So that is why it is called Bhakti Yoga. Yoga means adding. Yoga doesn't mean deducting. We are not deducting anything from our lives. We are just adding on Krishna to our life. And Krishna is the prime. He will become the pivot of the house, pivot of the family. And everything will revolve around him. And all will be then happy and peaceful. Sab manage ho jayega. Everything will be managed. Don't worry at all.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Mataji, we have one question from Dilip Prabhu. Dilip Prabhu, can you ask directly?
Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Mataji, my doubt is that it's like a layman doubt. Once the ultimate goal of soul is liberate and to serve Krishna, then Krishna, why this many lokas created? And instead of that, if he keeps all souls in the Goloka, we can serve him easily, with devotion, without any desire.
But in Goloka also, you know, our freedom will not be taken away. That is there. वो जो freedom, minute freedom we have, that will not be taken away. That minute freedom, when misused again, is always, that is the main problem. We get carried away. That is why we have been sent here. There are millions of earths, you know, not only one earth. There are millions of earths. And so millions of other jivas are also in those jails, you know. We are actually in a jail right now. So we have been thrown here for reformation. But still we are very adamant to get reformed, you know. The Gurbani even says this, that we are, Guru Nanak Dev Ji went to the extent of saying that we all are in our, you know, when a bride is married off, if after marriage she comes back to her maika, she comes back to her parents' house. So that is not considered good. That means she has come for some problem has been there and she has come for reformation. She should rectify and then only the husband is going to accept her. It's like there. Old days were like there. Now it's a lot of liberation. There's women's liberation is there. But this is actually, if you say it was this way, then to rectify, the girl was sent to parents' house to go and reform your this thing, and then the husband will accept you. So Gurbani, the Granth Sahib, Guru Nanak Dev Ji says this example. He says, Sabne sore vanjana. We all are females, he says. And we have only one husband, that is Krishna. And we all have been sent back to our parents' house. He has sent us back here to reform. And we all have to go one day to meet our bridegroom. He is our bridegroom, we all are brides. But we are back here because we have to reform ourselves. So the reformation means the ahankar, the false ego is very strong. So that is why it says, first thing is you have to shed off your ahankar, the false ego. That false ego is not letting us. That false ego works at every step in a subtle way, you know. When we, like this example, when we say, oh, I'm disrespecting demigods. We are understanding everything what Krishna is saying, but then also we want to use our brains, our limited knowledge we want to put there. No, I cannot do this. So this is mental speculation. That's our false ego. That is ego actually. That's a false ego. And then false ego will actually stop us from doing many things. We boost our false ego ourselves. So we have to, if we really want to go, Krishna says you will have to rectify yourself and come back. I'll accept you. Be humble. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is why in 8 verses only he concluded everything. He said there's no need to write like 2,000 pages or 3,000 pages. Just 8 verses are sufficient to complete the whole concept of going back. He says, Trinadapi sunichena tarodapi sahinshuna. Become so humble like a blade of grass. So it's so tough for us. We are always accustomed to giving tit for tat to people. If you say one bad thing to me, I'll speak 10 bad things about you. So, but we have to shut off this habit of ours. We have to, it says, other day I was reading in the quote came from Bible on my Facebook. And it's what the Gita, Krishna says this. It said that the Bible said, if somebody is cursing you, if somebody says bad words about you, send a blessing to him. Wish good for him. That is what Krishna says. That those who don't hate anybody, those who don't keep any dvesh in their heart, they are the best people in this world. They are the perfect devotees. And the Gurbani, the Granth Sahib, Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, Sarbadda Bala. Sarbadda Bala means everybody should enjoy the bliss of Krishna, the blessings of the supreme power. Everybody should enjoy. And that includes my enemies as well. That includes everybody. And that is tough for us. We say, oh, hamara bala ho jaye, but not the enemy, not uska bala nahi ho. But the day we learn, no, we are wishing well to our enemy also. We wish well to them also. So our ignorance will go away that day. Yeah. So that's it, Prabhuji. How long it is this class?
I think there's one more last question. I think if you're okay, we can take that from
Yeah.
He's saying that I think that was in the context when you were explaining for demigods don't get disrespectful. So he's asking, in the story of Govardhan, Indra got offended when the people of Vrindavan stopped praying him. How to understand that?
Indra got offended. But when he came to know the boy who stopped the yajna was none other than Krishna himself, he had to come and ask for forgiveness. He came to ask for forgiveness. So this is there. Even Brahmaji got bewildered. He hid all the cowboys and he hid them in the cave, for full 1 year. Krishna expanded immediately himself into all the calves and all the cowherd boys. And he was in every gopi's house. And then Brahma also had to ask for forgiveness. So these stories, they reveal this. Yes, the demigods have, when they know it's Krishna, they are surrendered to Krishna. That's it. And if they are surrendered to Krishna, then we have to surrender to Krishna. And when we surrender to Krishna, we are getting the blessings of all the 33 million of the demigods, Then they all will bless us. And already they are blessing us. If we are chanting the Maha Mantra, they are blessing us. That's it. So
last question, Mataji, from Lakshmi Mataji Kartikeya. I think, Mataji, can you ask directly if you are here?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much for the wonderful section. My doubt was, if I am going to my relative's house, means how to serve the Lord in their houses and how to do the chanting. Means they are not Krishna devotees. And if I say about Krishna also, they are not ready to listen. Then that time, how to face that situation? Means I want to serve the Lord and I want to do the chanting.
So it's like that, like chanting, you can do it. It's a private thing. You don't need to tell them even. If you can get up early in the morning in your bedroom only, you can do the chanting. If you don't want to annoy them, that's okay. And about eating, if the doctor tells you to eat only this, then you would be doing that only. I have been to places, I have been preaching in Pakistan also. So I was at the family where the Muslim families, even I have stayed with them. And I've told them, like, I don't eat all these are restrictions for my diet. And I do the offering in their kitchen itself, I have done the offerings of the food myself there. I carry a small picture, or if the picture is also not there, no problem at all. Just chant the Maha Mantra, chant the mantras for offering there only with folded hands. Krishna accepts that. Because he knows the situation. He is everywhere. He is in our heart. Though he is there in his abode, he is there everywhere with us. So when we are surrendered, he is there helping us everywhere. If really we want to do it, he'll make the plans for us. If we, first of all, we only have inhibitions, then he says, oh, he is not a fully surrendered soul. So it goes like that. But when you say, oh, I have to do it and I will do it, and then I think so, your relatives also will object to it. Because if your diet is like that, they should not be objecting to it, that you don't have a taste for onion and garlic. They can always say, okay, you can cook for yourself. That's what I do when I travel. If I cook, I say, oh, I feel like having this thing. So I cook for myself and then offer it and eat it. And you can offer them also after if the offering is done. So this happens, that changes their heart even. That helps them to have a soft corner for you also. So if you're going to stay long days with your relatives, then you can try to convince them that it's your diet now. You don't have the taste for that. There are millions of things one can say, Prabhupada once, that is a very, what example I'm going to give you, it is a very harsh example. It is there that Prabhupada once, a devotee came to Prabhupada, a Western devotee, American. He's a boy, young boy. He came to Prabhupada and he said, Prabhupada, my family forces me to have non-veg. And they say that you eat with us on the dining table. But I don't feel like eating the non-veg, and I can't see the sight even of the non-veg they're eating. But my parents, they force me to sit there. And then Prabhupada said, it's okay if you sit there. But he said, I cannot take it. It just is, I get a nausea when I see that. So Prabhupada said, if you tell them you get nausea, then, and if you really get nausea, and what happens after nausea? He said, it's a vomiting. And he said, if you will do vomiting, next time they will not make you sit on the dining table with you. Then that boy understood. He said, yes, that is the right way to get rid of them. So they will not pester me with that. So this is a strong step, but you can always convince your relatives and every family, when we are in the bhakti, I'm talking to all of you that's there. It's happened with us even. When we were new in the bhakti, we were chanting and we left onion and garlic. All our family, the extended family, they said, you people have gone mad, I was hardly 34 at that time and my husband was like 36. And the whole family was saying, what's wrong with you? Like we were the ones, I'm a fashion designer by profession, and they were all shocked with what like changes had come to my life. So they were under a shock. And they said, what is wrong with you? You both have gone mad, what are you doing the whole day? And you don't eat onion garlic even you are offering. And I said, no, this is my way of life. I've understood it from the Granth Sahib because my half of the family is from a Sikh background. And there I had to preach from the Granth Sahib. And my family in the in-law side, they are Hindus. So they could understand from the Gita. I gave them the examples from the Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam to convince them. So likewise, you also, Karthikeya Mataji, you can do that. Give them the examples and tell them that, yes, I want to do this. Be strong. Be determined. This will help you. The determination will help you. Yeah.
Mataji, one more question. Mataji, can I force my husband to do the chanting? How to convince him?
Force your husband. How will you force him? What weapons you have?
He was just telling me, means how you have to convince me, how I have to do this one, how to do the chanting.
You first ask him why you should not be chanting. You ask him a reason for his not chanting. Just ask him why you should not be chanting. Why you should not sing the glories of the God who has given us everything. You just ask him this, counter question him. But why you are not chanting?
Yes, but he was telling that just I will do everyday obeisances. That's more than enough for me. Means I want again birth. I want again birth in my mother womb only.
How can he be so sure? Tell him that is not sure. The scriptures tell this. There is that same mother, you will not get it. It's in the scriptures. You cannot be sure you will get rebirth from the same mother. It can never happen that. But the 84 lakhs of species he has to go through before taking the human birth again. So he will have to travel a long distance again. And being in the womb of so many lower species, even one has to go. So that is there. He will have to go all over with 84 lakhs of species, So just convince him, try to tell him the stories. So that is, he will understand. When you will offer the food and make him eat prasadam, his intelligence will change. His mati will change, you know. That will happen. Prashad can do that.
Okay, Mataji, thank you.
Yes. So
Okay, I think Mataji, yeah, we have ended all the questions. Thank you very much, Mataji, for a very wonderful and
thank you
fantastic
very much.
session. Chadurani Mataji and Omkar Prabhu, you want to add something?
No, we just want to thank Mataji. It's such a wonderful class. Always enthusiastic, very good examples. And I'm so pleased that you brought this Narasimha story. You know, I had heard it many times, like in Alachua. I mean, it was printed in the magazine, and and Kazakhstan, same thing. I mean, at the same time. So this was very relishing. So I was again reminded of the purity of all these. I mean, bhakti. You know, when Lord Narasimha brings them and invites them. So this is good. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you very much. And
Excellent class.
we are in so much awe of you. I mean, the number of classes you're giving and taking every day, it's incredible.
Yeah,
you are a wonderful example. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
thank you.
just
Thank
bless
you.
us, Mataji.
Yeah, bless us that we can do some service to Guru Maharaj.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Mataji, so much. It was wonderful meeting you here. Wonderful. Thank you.
Good to see you all. Good to
Hare
see you
Krishna,
all.
Mataji.
All of you are doing wonderfully. It's nice to see everybody.
That's why Guru Maharaj says Zoom is very good. It's excellent.
Oh, he's having a great time. He loves it.
He loves it.
All devotees like it.
Yesterday, he had a meeting with Prabhuji on Zoom. So he was there in our house. He says, I'm visiting so many houses every day.
Yes, yes. I mean, yesterday, Jayapataka Maharaj had 1,000 connections between.
Oh my God.
1,000 connections, and each connection probably had 2 or 3 people.
Wow.
You know, and just this morning, just now, just before this, Kadam Khan Maharaj had 500 connections.
Wow.
And each connection probably had 2 or 3. So it's like 1,500, 2,000. It's just incredible.
See, one day we can have so many.
Yeah, this is every town and village, you know, personified.
I think Zoom is earning a lot through devotees actually.
Well, that's okay. Devotees are earning a lot through Zoom.
He's getting Agyata Sukruti Mataji. Zoom, lot of fun.
Yes. Yeah. Totally. I mean, Prabhupada would be so pleased that we're using technology for furthering his movement.
So much of positive energy is going all over the world. It's
amazing. I mean, every day we are in 3, 4, 5 classes. I mean, how much can we? I mean, we can't do that. No, but we can't do that when we are, you know,
right.
we can't do that.
That's it.
We attend 1 class, we get tired. You know, here we are doing 4, 5, 6 classes.
You start giving now. Now you start giving, not listening.
Well, I'm doing some.
Start giving.
Yesterday I did a Bhagavatam class in Shamchandra Prabhu's thing, and just, you know, just a few.
Yeah.
So it's nice. It's very nice to see.
That's great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji Prabhuji, for your blessings and
Everybody, thank you.
Yeah.
Very
Thank you.
Thank you, Radhika Mataji. It's our very much. We are very fortunate to have that wonderful association, Mataji, from your side, Radhika Mataji.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for sharing your knowledge and blessings with our group. And of course, you are frequently coming also. So looking forward for more associations. We'll see how we'll be getting that. Thank you very much for inviting us.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Chadurani Mataji and Omkar Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for joining.
Krishna.
Hare
Krishna.